If you set up your email pop-up and haven't touched it since, this episode is for you. Today, I'm walking through the parts of a pop-up that are actually worth auditing: the trigger, the timing, and the success step. Simple stuff, but the details matter more than most brands realize. I'm Laryssa, and for a decade with my agency, Joya, I've been helping women-focused, product-based e-commerce brands grow with more intention, creativity, and clarity. We ditch the marketing formulas that don't feel like you and build strategies that actually connect. All right, let's talk about email pop-ups. I know, some of you just cringed a little bit. And I understand why. Pop-ups have a bit of a reputation. We've all been on the receiving end of a bad one. You land on a site, you haven't had a chance to read anything, you don't even know what the brand sells yet, and immediately there's a full page form blocking your screen and asking for your email address. That's not a pop-up problem, that's a strategy problem. A well-timed, well-designed pop-up is not annoying. It's actually one of the most effective list growth tools that you have in your email marketing toolkit. The brands avoiding them out of fear are actually leaving subscribers on the table every single day. So if you've been holding off on adding a pop-up to your site because you don't want to seem pushy or aggressive, I want to challenge that. When you're sharing a compelling reason for someone to sign up, it is genuinely one of the highest converting list growth tools available to e-commerce brands. Avoiding it doesn't make your site feel more premium. It just means fewer people are entering your email ecosystem. Now, for those of you who do have a pop-up, the question I want to ask is, when did you last actually look at it? I don't mean glance at it. I mean actually open it up, put your email address and/or your phone number in, read through all the language and every step, check the settings, and ask whether it's doing what you'd want it to do if you were an actual first-time visitor. For a lot of brands, the honest answer is, the last time I checked my pop-up was when I first set it up, which may have been a year ago or 2 years ago or even longer. When it comes to pop-ups, the details matter a lot more than most people realize. So let's start with talking about timing. There are two main ways to trigger a pop-up in Klaviyo: with a time delay, which means the form appears after someone has been on your site for a set number of seconds, or a scroll delay trigger, which means it fires after they've scrolled through a certain percentage of the page. Neither one off the bat is automatically better. A time delay rewards someone for staying. A scroll trigger rewards someone for actually engaging with the page content. The question you'll want to ask yourself is, what does someone need to experience on your site before you ask for their email and/or phone number? Most brands just kind of leave whatever the default setting is without ever asking whether it actually makes sense for their site. And that's a real issue. Not that an immediate pop-up, one that comes up right away when you visit a site, is inherently bad, but that it was kind of never a deliberate decision that was made. Some brands have a value proposition that's totally clear the second you land on the page. The product is obvious, the offer is compelling. In this case, an immediate pop-up actually works really well. But I would say most brands need a little more runway, because a homepage that takes time to absorb, a brand story that needs a moment to land before you ask for anything, that all needs some time. One thing worth considering for you is also, where is the traffic coming from to your website? Someone who clicked through to your site from a paid ad already has some level of interest before they arrive. They saw the ad, something piqued their interest, and they chose to engage. In that case, I would say that visitor can see a pop-up a lot sooner then someone who found you through maybe organic search and is maybe still figuring out who you are. So in these two scenarios, it's your same website, it's your same pop-up, but you're choosing different timing based on where the person is coming from, because the visitor's headspace is going to be completely different depending how they arrive to your website. As a general rule of thumb, especially for time delay triggered pop-ups, look at your average session duration in your analytics and set the trigger at around 80% of that number. So to be more specific about that, if you're seeing that people typically spend about 60 seconds on your site, then somewhere around 48 seconds is a really solid starting point to test. That means you're reaching people at genuine engagement, but also right before most visitors would typically leave, rather than interrupting them the moment they arrive to your website. The question to sit with is, at the moment this pop-up fires, has this person seen enough of your website to want to give you their email? If you can confidently answer yes, your timing is working. If you're not sure, that's worth A/B testing. All right, now let's talk about who's actually seeing your pop-up, because this is where two really common oversights live. So there are two suppression settings that are worth checking while you're in there doing a pop-up audit. First, make sure that your existing subscribers aren't seeing your pop-up at all. It's an easy thing to miss, but showing a sign-up form to someone who's already on your list is kind of a bad look. It signals that the brand doesn't know who they are or hasn't really thought through the customer experience. And then second, for visitors who keep coming back without signing up, I would say once per browsing session is plenty. And after that, cap it somewhere between 1 and 3 times over a 2-week window so that you're not constantly hitting someone with a pop-up over and over. But before I get into the part of the pop-up that most brands completely overlook, a quick break to tell you about JoyJoya. We partner with women-focused e-commerce brands to turn their email and SMS channels into true growth engines. Our clients typically see a 30 to 40% lift in revenue within the first 90 days. Visit joyjoya.com to see what we can do for you. Okay, the part I really want to spend time on, because I think it's the most underlooked part of any pop-up setup, is what happens after someone submits the form. Most brands treat the pop-up as this one single moment, this one first step where you receive the email address or the phone number. So someone sees that form, they fill it out, and done. You don't have to worry about anything else. But there are actually 2 or even more than 2 steps worth thinking about carefully. There's the opt-in itself, again, where you're entering that email or phone number, and then there's the success step. So the opt-in is that form. What is the offer? How does it look? Is it rendering correctly on desktop and mobile? I would say every brand is spending time looking at that part. But the success step is what appears after someone hits submit. And most brands barely think about that one at all. The success step is the very first thing a new subscriber sees after saying yes to you. And most brands are kind of using it as a dumping ground for a discount code. They're just sharing the code right away in that success step, rather than in the welcome email or the welcome text, or in addition to the welcome email or the welcome text. But that success step moment in the pop-up deserves a lot more thought than it gets. Think about what the success step is communicating. Someone just said yes. They gave you their email address or their phone number. That is no small thing. They expressed interest. They took an action. What's the first thing they see? Is it a warm, on-brand, well-designed message that makes them feel good about that decision in the success step? Or is it just a generic, you're subscribed confirmation that could belong to any brand? And speaking of the discount code, which I had just mentioned, this one might genuinely surprise you. It's kind of counterintuitive. I would actually recommend not putting your discount code on the pop-up success step. I know that sounds a little bit backwards, but if someone can grab the code right there on the same page they were just on in the success step, they have no reason to check for and open your welcome email or welcome text message. And that first open and first click really, really matters for your deliverability because it's signaling to inbox providers that this subscriber wanted to hear from you and actually making them go to their inbox or to their messages in their phone to get the code trains engagement from the very first touch when they sign up. So the instinct is, for most brands, oh, they signed up for the discount. Let me just give them the discount right there so they don't have to leave. And then the fear is that if you make them work for it even slightly, they'll get frustrated and not bother. But think about what you're actually optimizing for here. Yes, of course, you want them to get the discount and use it and make their first purchase. But you also want them to open the welcome email or the welcome text. You want inbox providers to see that this new subscriber immediately engaged with your first send. That first open is a signal. It tells Gmail, it tells the inbox that this person wanted to hear from you. And that signal really matters to keep you out of spam folders. So instead of having the code on the success step, use that screen to set expectations. Tell them to check their inbox or phone. Make it feel exciting. Build a little anticipation for the email or text that's coming, and then let the welcome email do the work of delivering the code and making that real first impression. That sequence, success step sets the stage, welcome email delivers. It's a much stronger start to the subscriber relationship than just handing over a code and hoping they come back. None of what I covered today is necessarily a major overhaul. It's timing, suppression settings, a confirmation screen, and where you decide to put that welcome code. Small decisions, but your pop-up is running on your site every single day, and getting these details correct will compound over time. The brands that are winning at list growth today, they're not necessarily doing something groundbreaking or more complicated. They're just doing the basics, but they're doing them very intentionally and with a sound strategy behind them. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, like and subscribe for more tips. And if you're serious about scaling your e-commerce brand through email and SMS, head to joyjoya.com to learn more.